Okay, more about the market. Your market matters more than anything else, and it is your reason for existence. I don't know if you know who was Gary Albert, but Gary Albert is like the father of copywriting. You know, one of the best copywriters, which means a marketer. You know, guys that was writing sales letter, and you know, he was used to ask his students, uh, if you can have everything to build a successful business, but you can only have one element, what do you want? What would you want? I mean, you have to build your business and you can have only one marketing tool. What would you choose? And people were used to say any kind of stuff. They were used to say things like, I want a bigger sign, I want a big shop, I want to be in a nice place of the city, or I want to have a famous testimonial, whatever. People were used to say any kind of stuff. But what his answer was to the question, if you can have only one marketing tools, what would it be? He was saying an hungry audience. I want an hungry audience. And that's really important. That's what your market is. Your market is your hungry audience. And when I say hungry, I doesn't mean necessarily physically. It might be emotionally hungry, intellectually hungry, but a group of people that they need what you have to offer in order to solve their problem or to improve their life. And remember, if you have your market wrong, you can fix it with exceptional marketing. But if you have your market right, if you have this angry audience, then you can do really well even with mediocre marketing. And I can give you a perfect example of this. Probably you have in your country those kind of truck that sell food, something like hot dogs and stuff like that, maybe in the middle of the night. And I don't know in your countries, but in Italy, usually you go there and a sandwich costs about €5 and a beer costs about €3. And you know, the bread is dry, the salad in the bread is 2 or 3 days old, and the man working there is usually a fat, ugly man, really dirty, who doesn't wash his hand and touch the money, then touch the food, you know. And really the whole service is not so nice because you have to stand there in the cold and having your sandwich and your beer, when you could actually go to a bar and for the same price or even less have a nice waitress that come to your table in a warm place and serve you a handmade sandwich, which is much better and the quality is much higher. But the question is, why those kind of businesses like the food crouch, the food truck, can be able to have a successful business? And I can tell you for personal experience, some of those businesses do like six figure, and they have this terrible product, this terrible food they offer, and they also have a terrible marketing because they do anything. Why they are successful? Well, because they have the hungry audience at that particular time, usually in the night, that particular place where they are, there are no any other people who are fulfilling the audience need, which is that they are hungry. So the hungry audience is really the reason for existence. If you don't know what is your hungry audience, you have no reason to exist. Your business doesn't have a reason to exist. And again, you don't have any reason to be successful if you are not having a good reason for existence. A good market, which is basically mean a good way and a clear understanding of who you are targeting, what you're offering, and how you are helping them to solve the problem, fulfill the need, and have a better life. Um, Let me also read you this. Generically speaking, is not a problem if there are many other people in your market. So don't be afraid if you go out and you say, well, I am a bars facilitator, and you think, well, there are so many other bars facilitators in my area. But that's not bad. That's actually a good sign, because if there are many other people doing something, it means they were able to have a business and that people need and like what they're offering. So that's a good sign. But you need your unique point of entry. You need something that makes you unique, makes you special in a desirable way for your clients. And this means you need to fulfill unmet needs and unmet desires. So I say it again so you can write it down and remember it in your mind. You need to fulfill unmet needs and unmet desire. This is, if you kind of zoom out, this is what is a market. A market is an unmet needs or unmet desire that you can solve or fulfill with your product or service. And as most of you are starting, I'm sure someone is wondering, what if I don't know what my service or product is? Well, that's perfect. Spend time and energy to figure out what are some of the unmet needs and desire that people have, and then you go out and you create or you adapt what you have to offer to that specific clients. So maybe you're good in helping people um, how to lose weight, but you want to target it really well. You go out, you discover that women usually uh, have like stress eating. They eat when they're stressed, and you're a woman and you know how to solve that. And then instead of doing like uh, be a health coach or generical helping anyone to be more fit, you want just to target women who have stress and anxiety um, problem with food, and you will do a great job in that niche. So be really specific again. Next slide. Yeah, that's probably the question, the things you want to know, how to get really pragmatic. So how to actually choose your market. Oh, by the way, sorry, there is a person here who is having some trouble to log in. Give me just really 30 seconds and I will help her to log in and to join the call, and I will be back to you. Perfect. Perfect, problem solved. By the way, I hope you enjoy GoToWebinar. It's going to be the program, the software I'm going to use. And so if you come on another yeah, I hope you will become more and more used to it, and it's really cool in my opinion. It works really well. So let's talk about how to actually discover your market, how to choose it. So in the real world, how to go out and how to define who your market is. And the title is How to Discover and Target Your Niche. Okay, again, a niche is your small group of people, your small group of clients. You will learn is not so small. Actually, a good, if you want to build uh, something which is at least six or seven figure, and I mean you don't have to do it tomorrow morning, but in the long run, why to limit yourself? So I would go for the seven figure for sure. And like a good number of people in your market is 1 million. And 1 million, it means one every 1,000 person on this planet. So you have to find something that can help at least one person every 1,000 people on this planet. We will go, this is like an advanced technical details, so we will talk more about later, maybe, or maybe even in another class. Let's go to the basics. Let's go back. But remember, your niche, you can do really well with 100 people, but just as a rule of thumb, if you have 1 million people in the world that can potentially be really interested in your service, that's really, really great, because maybe right now you don't have the resources to get in contact with all of them, but in the long run, you will want to get in contact with thousand and thousand and thousand of people. And with just 100 people or 1,000 people, you can do a great, great, great job. I mean, you can do six figure with 100 people in your business if you choose the right niche. So let's go to this three step to really target your niche. Well, step number one, when you want to discover who are your potential clients, who you want to go after, is to start thinking in needs and start from the three mega niches, what I call the three mega niches, where 90% of the money is made in the coaching and holistic business. Um, so let me explain what I mean here. Well, why needs? uh, if I ask you, what is the number one reason that people why people do what they do, from like going to the toilet, from looking for a partner, or well, whatever, financial insurance, why people buy stuff, why people do things, because they fulfill a need. And when you fulfill a need of you, you do two things. On one part, you run away from what you don't like. So you run away from what you're afraid of. And on the other side, you move closer to what you desire. So there is this kind of double leverage of pain and pleasure when you fulfill a need. And this is something which is really wired into human and humanoids thing, the needs. And there was a, because this is not something that you can really control. It's something that we born wired with, and we evolve through thousand and probably millions of years with those needs. Like, there are needs that all of us have, that everybody has. And there was a psychologist called Abraham Maslow. Probably you have been hearing about him, and he discovered this what is called the hierarchy of needs. And he discovered that there are basically some needs who we all share. And I'm going to talk about the most strong and common and basic of them, which are the need of surviving. So people, first of all, they have physiological needs that allow them to survive. And the physiological needs all have to do about your body and your health. So you need to breathe, you need to move, you need to eat, you need to have sex. These are all the things that, in my opinion, regard the body. So the first step on the hierarchy of needs are the health need, the physiological needs. Then, once you are healthy, what are you looking for? Well, most people will look for what is called security in the natural environment. But as we don't live in the natural environment anymore, we need in a complicated word. What is kind of creating security in our life, or what do we believe creates security, is money and finances. So the second big uh, series of need are the needs that are about money and finances and be successful in your business. And then the third level, once you are healthy, once you have tons of money, you will look for the relationship. And you will see that, in any case, if you're missing one of those elements, you will really look for them. If you're really healthy and you have a great relationship, but you have no money and no business, you will look for that. On the other side, if you have a great relationship and you have all the money in the world, but your health is lacking, then that you what you will be thinking about. And those are really the basic human needs that every one of us is looking to solve. And this is where 90% of the money is made in our kind of business. So if you're a facilitator, this is where you want to help people with. Then there are more advanced needs. You can go on Google, give it a look to Abraham Maslow. But just to tell you about the other more evolved need we have, are like the needs of growing, and the need to contribute back to others. So just to give you a little overview here. So you can take these three needs of Abraham Maslow: the body, the money, and the relationship, and you can imagine them as three big, huge markets. Those are three mega niches. Those are three big ocean of people that are looking for a solution to their problem. Now, I said before, you don't want to jump in an ocean, you want to jump in a fairly small puddle. But how to find the puddle? Well, start from the mega niches. So, point one of how to discover your niche, start from one of the big mega niches, start thinking in it, and you ask yourself, within the three mega niches, within the area of body and health, money and business, and sex and relationship, what's the one in which I have helped people, or the one that I know how I could help people? So think about your own experience and think about where are you good at? Where is your strong point? Can you help? Are you be able to help people with their health, or with their businesses, or with their relationship? What is that you are good at? And other question you can ask is, what's the one mega niches where I would like to help people and I'm more interested in keep learning about? Because maybe if you're just starting, you don't know where you can start, and then just start thinking, well, what is that you're more interested about? Is it health and maybe nutrition and losing weight, and what can, just for give you some micro niches within that, like dealing with stress, or I'm more interested with money and business, or I'm more interested in relationship. And then you will go, you will drill in, you will narrow it, and you will go deeper and deeper into this niche, in these mega niches, and you will find a small group of people. So let me give you some examples here. If you start from the health mega niche, then you can narrow it down and you can say, well, I don't want to do health in general. I want to talk about nutrition. And then that's again too big, too much competition, too much great companies in industry. You want to go even, one step forward, and you will go, well, I will do raw food. Well, that's interesting. And say, well, that's again really too big. I will do raw food for teenagers. I'm just shouting out examples, but just to give you an idea of what you need to do, you need to narrow it down. Or for example, if you say, well, I want to help people with business, well, what people need with a business? Well, maybe is going out of debt. So you can target people who need to go out of debt. You can be even more specific. Well, people who are in credit card debt with $10,000 in debt. So you can narrow it down in this way. Or about relationship, you can narrow it down to, for example, instead of doing relationship, maybe you're a man or maybe you're a woman, whatever. You want to help a man with relationship, and maybe you want to just help them to have more dates. So you can help men with their dates. Or maybe you can help old couple to rediscover intimacy between themselves. Whatever it is, do you see that in all of these examples, what I'm doing is cutting out a big part of the market? Like in the example of relationship, I'm just targeting men. So I'm cutting out 50% of the market, which is women. And I just say, well, I want to help those men, and I want to help them not with relationship in general. So this will cut out other big part of the market. Maybe some men want to, uh, improve relationship they're already in, maybe improve their marriage. Maybe they want to improve relationship with their family, with their kids. You cut out all those people. You focus on men who want to have more dates. Okay, just for an example. So just think about something of this kind, but what you will see is that this process is not something that has to go on in your mind. You don't have to just narrow your mega niche in your mind. You have to go out and discover and test if your idea is really going to work. Or on the other side, you can really go out and do a research and understand, let the real world, let the people you talk with will lead you to discover your niche. And actually this is what I suggest. I said you have to, step 3, research for specific irrational emotional unmet needs and desire. Let me read it again. Research for specific irrational emotional unmet needs and desires. So you choose, for example, a mega niche like health or like weight loss, and then you go out and you do your research. How to do your research? I write you here 4 steps. Number 1, this is the most powerful way: do one-on-one consultation. That means that, since tomorrow morning, since tonight after we speak, you talk to people and ask questions that allow you to discover their specific problems, fear, frustration, challenges, desire, and you start listening carefully. Actually, this is an answer to Diana was asking how to really research my niche and what specific question to ask. Well, if you just met people and you don't really know them, and you're just, you don't want to be too direct to ask people what's your number one problem, you know, that would be a little weird. So you can just talk with people even if you don't know them and ask them, create a little bit of rapport, ask them what they do, and you will acknowledge that people like to talk about themselves. People like to open and to talk if you allow them, if you're there present and you're listening and you care about them. You will really feel and you will see that they do. And if you ask them, okay, what do you do, when they tell you, well, they're a mom, or they tell you they have a shop, or they tell you whatever they tell you, really whatever they tell you, you can go and ask them, well, nice, what's your number one challenge with whatever they told you. So let's say they told you, well, I am a single mom and I do blah blah blah, and you say, okay, that's interesting, what's your number one challenge with being a single mom? And they can go and they can start speaking, and you listen carefully, and this will do different things. You will really develop this mentality of thinking in needs and listening instead of always thinking. I've been meeting many coaches and facilitators that, they ask the question to what the people need, and then they start coaching or start facilitating. Well, let people tell you a little bit more. Let them go, let them ask questions that can lead them to go deeper, because sometimes they don't know themselves what they want, what the problem is. So let them go deeper and deeper. And so a question that I used to ask is, what are your challenges with? And if you want to be really specific, you can, maybe you choose that your niche is, you want to start from weight loss, either because you have experience with weight loss, or you like it, or you know it, or whatever. And then you can go out and then you have to ask, what's your number one challenge with weight loss? And you go out, you ask for women, you ask to men, and then you discover, well, women are more interested, then you only go asking women because you want to really target that group of people. And then you can go deeper. Once you have been asking what's your challenge, you want to ask what's your number one problem, and you want to move to what's your fears and what's your frustration, what worries you. When you go out in bed in night and you think about, your body image, what's worries you. Okay, maybe there was some problem with their health. And I know many people, many facilitators don't want to talk about fears and frustration, and they're all about, the ease and joy and glory and possibility. But I've been learning something, because I really, before when I started, I didn't want to talk about people problem, people fears, frustration, uh, and I missed out a big thing that I've been learning, and is that you have to meet people where they're at. And let me tell you this again. You have to meet people where they're at. If they are in fear, if they have problem, if they have frustration, you have to go at their level. And it doesn't mean that you have to validate their problem, that you have to believe them or whatever. But it means that you have to kind of go at their level, and then, you know, help them and lead them to the place where they want to go. But you can't, like, catapult them where they want to be if you don't meet them where they're at. You have to create a bridge between where they are and where they want to be, and you can help them in this process of gaining consciousness and awareness and move from where they are where they want to be. I really have to meet them where they're at. This is why we want to ask, what's your fear, what's frustration? Also because people are really motivated not only to spend money, but also to take action. And remember, ultimately, if you're a coach or a facilitator, you don't want just people to buy your stuff or to, come to your classes. You want them to actually use and do the action that you suggest them, to do the tool, to use the tools and the things that you teach, because that's the way they're going to get results. And you don't want them just to come to your classes, you want them to get results. If you connect what you do and what you teach with their fears, with their frustration, which means, for example, if they want to lose weight and you go really specific and you said lose 90 pounds in, sorry, 90 pounds, lose 20 pounds in 90 days without military exercise and without, starving diet. That's really clear. That's really talking to fears, to frustration, and that's going to make people read your book, come to your class, and also do the things because it's clear what they're going to get out. They will lose the 20 pounds on their belly fat and what blah blah blah. But if you are too generical, like having total health with your whole body, I mean, that's not going to be compelling. That's not going to be clear. So you want to ask questions that are like, what's your number one problem? What's your number one fear? What your frustration, your worries? And also on the other side, what do they want? So the positive question, like what do you desire? What are your dreams, your aspiration? What if you couldn't fail? What do you want? And you listen, and this is the one-on-one consultation. Second things you can do some research online. Actually, those are things that you should do all of them. Actually, I would say do all of them, and the more valuable in one-on-one consultation, because that allow you to really talk to people. And I would say that doing 30 of them is a good number. If you can do more, like between 30 and 100, that's great. Take your time, talk with people who really develop a good listening ability, and you will target a great market. So take the time you need to do this. Is the foundation of a successful business. You will look back and you will be grateful that you did, that you talk with people, that you listen to them, that you start caring to what they need once you will have built your business. And then the second things you can do is for sure to go online. Second things you can do is to, whoa, I have double screen stuff here. Go away. Second things you can do is for sure to go online and do your research on Google. And I write you here Google Keyword Planner and Alexa.com. You will have the video, so I need the recording, so you can write down those things. You can go online, and if you want to do something like weight loss, go online and do weight loss. Or do you want to do natural weight loss? Look for natural weight loss. Or you want to help people with their stress, or you with, I don't know, money, whatever it is. Type there the things that you want to help people with, and type there the things that people told you in the one-on-one consultation they're looking for. So if they're looking to make more money from home, look for making money from home. Look what people are talking about on webs, on forums, on blogs, and also look for other people who are having businesses that are helping those people. So if you find someone which is at position number 4 of Google, when you write down, I don't know, let's say you live in Stockholm, you write down natural weight loss Stockholm, and you find someone who is at place number 4. Look what they're doing, because I mean, if they are number 4, that probably means they're successful. And look in their website, you will discover what are the fears, the frustration, the emotional word, and I repeat that, the emotional word that those people are using to target, to kind of identify their clients. Okay. And I also write down here another things that you can do are surveys, teleclasses, and live events. Well, the idea here is to go in to have the possibility to be in front of a large group of people and ask them what are their fear, frustration, desire. So do your research like a one-on-one but bigger. And if you are on this program, probably you have seen I've been doing surveys, I've been talking to you one-on-one, I've been doing a teleclass, and this is also a webinar. So I could also use this, and I will at the end of these seminars, on the webinar, there is a link I will give you which lead you to like a feedback page on my website where you can leave your feedback, you can ask questions, whatever, and that will give me a clue of what you need, what I can improve, what was good, and whatever. You want to always be in contact with your target audience. And ultimately you want to test. So that means, are those people proactively looking for a solution? I mean, are they out looking for, are they willing to spend their money? Are they experiencing urgency? So that, is the thing you're offering to them their number one problem that they want to solve, or they have thousand other things in their mind and maybe one day they will be interested in what you offer? If it is the case of maybe one day I will go there, well, there is something you need to change. It has to be like one of the first or second or third priority that people have. You want to offer something which is really compelling. And the ultimate test is, are they willing to pay you? I mean, if you do a business, then you have to see if people are willing to pay, and you have to let them vote with their money. When people vote with their money, when you see they pay you, then you can really be sure that your business is going to work. Okay, so that was a long time talking about the market. uh, Let me go a little bit faster on the marketing, and let's see if we have a little bit of time also for the mindset, because this is a lot of information all condensed.